Let's go plug in real quick. Let's go plug in. We gotta plug in. You feel me? We gotta plug in. We gotta plug in. Oh, let's plug in, baby. Let's plug in. with it, Jamie? How you doing tonight, guys? Yeah, no. Oh shit, we got Joey English in the house. How you doing? Nice to see you again, bro. And you guys are killing me. You know. You guys are funny, bro. What's up with it? We got Jamie and Joey Fingers. Wow, we got a tag team in the house, bro. We got Joey Fingers and Jamie in the house, bro. We got tag team in the house, Joey Fingers, and we got Jamie. What's up with it, baby? Yeah, Joey Fingers. I'm glad you guys are here tonight, man. I'm so glad. You know, and we say shake that what? Shake that ass, girl. Oh yeah, yeah. He said. I'm surprised YouTube didn't block that out. Shake that ass, girl. Make that pussy wet. Bro, I'm surprised that YouTube didn't block that out. Yeah, he came in here. Hey, that's funny as hell, bro. I'll be back. I'm gonna get my sandwich. I'll be back. You guys are funny, bro. You guys are funny, man. Yeah, I've been drinking a little bit. I ain't drunk or nothing, but I've been drinking a little bit. Little seven. You guys are killing me, bro. We got Sean Breeze in the house. What's up with it, man? Are you pimping the Powerball tonight? No. I got my sandwich. I gotta let it cool off. I gotta let it cool off for about 5 to 10 minutes, man. That sandwich be hot when it first come out of the oven. You feel me? Boy, I said some motherfuckers are done for, bro. That dude like 5'7", man. He finished. Man, for real. Some motherfuckers are done for, bro. Eat the Powerball for the bag. A little Frankie Knuckles along the way when we were pimping hoes out here on Humboldt Park. That sounds like some LA shit. Humboldt Park. Hey, Joey Fingers, where you at, bro? You in LA or where you at? Sound like LA. You pimping hoes in LA? You know. Yo, Kelcat, alien should eat sub 5 stalker from the back. I'm pretty sure they won't do that. You know, I'm pretty sure they won't do that shit. Sub 5 stalker is not attractive, man. You know, pimping these hoes. Okay, he in South Side of Chicago. Okay, yeah, so he in Chicago. That sounds like some LA shit, man. I thought you was in LA for a minute. But I remember you was telling me you was pimping hoes in South Side of Chicago and shit. But it sounded like some LA shit, man. You know, when you said park, I was like, that sounds like some LA shit. You know, in LA they got all the cities that end with park, like Lincoln Park, you know, all the other shit. Lincoln Park is in LA. I was out there for a little bit. I was dreaming that I was eating UFOs in the back, bro. Whatever. You guys are killing me. I got my sandwich in my tall one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna eat right here. You feel me? Tall glass of water. I'm in Humboldt Park where the Latinos, Latin Kings and the Black Gangster Disciples are from. Yeah, that's right. The Black Gangster Disciples. Yeah, I remember those, man. I remember that. I remember the Black Gangster Disciples. Bruh, I looked at every single gangster documentary that you could ever think of. I read about the Crips and the Bloods and the gangster disciples. Bro, I don't read about it all, bro. You know. I remember, you know, this shit is still hot. I gotta let it cool off for like a couple more minutes. Like them. That shit was still hot. The Latin Kings and stuff, they be out there. That's on the real, man. But I'm from that Oaktown, you feel what I'm saying? I'm from Oakland, smoking. Where you from? Oakland, smoking. I'm from that ghost town, that lower bottom. I'm from Ghost Town and Lower Bottom and Deep East Oakland, where Drew Down come from. I spent time in Deep East for a while. Me and my mother, man. Deep East is where most of the rappers came from. You know, I think Too Short came from Deep East. Drew Down was definitely from Deep East because he was pimping hoes. You feel what I'm saying? He was pimping hoes out there on the boulevard, out there on International Street. International Street was the biggest, like like pimping and hoeing scene in Oakland. You feel what I'm saying? You know, and then Drew Down, E40 was from Vallejo, man. Vallejo is like about 30 miles away from Oakland. You know, but the pimp gang came from Oakland, man. There was so many pimps in Oakland back in the day. You know that, Joey Fingers. You heard about some of the pimps here in Oakland. Number one is Drew Down. He was a real life pimp. You know what I'm saying? He was pimping hoes for a minute before he became a rapper. You feel me? You know? He was making money off of bitches. And then he started making money off the music game. And he stopped. But the funny thing is, man, I was having sex with Drew Down's girl a while back. The woman with the retarded son, that was Drew Down's girlfriend for like a minute. So I basically fucked Drew Down's bitch. Just give it up, give it up, give it to me. Him. What's up with him? Where everybody at? shit. God damn. That sandwich to put some hair on your chest. So he out there with the gangsters and shit out there, man. Chicago ain't no joke, man. Chicago, man, they don't play out there, man. There ain't no joke out there in Chicago, man. For real, for real. Chicago ain't no joke. There's no joke out there, bro. I think the Latin Kings in the Chicago Gangster Disciples had some beef out there. They squashed that shit real quick because the disciples they got numbers out there. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want no beef out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Chicago was mostly black. You know, so they squashed that shit and became friends because you know. The disciples, they got numbers. Straight up, just the numbers are deep out there in Chicago. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like LA, man. You know what I'm saying? But they squashed that shit real quick. So we all just be friends. You know? Let's be friends. Let's not fight each other. But the gangster lifestyle is everywhere, man. If you got gangs around each other, man, they gonna fight. It's about territory, man. You know what I'm saying? It's about territory and respect. Territory and respect and domination, man. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of these motherfuckers don't understand that shit, man. You know, you know. And another thing, I wanted to like break something down real quick, man, because Diddy is still in jail, and I just wanted to make something. I just wanted to make something known. Diddy right now is awaiting trial next month, and he's he's waiting the sentencing for something else, and these people are trying to throw him in jail for the rest of his life. They got some other charges on Diddy right now, and I'm like, Diddy, why did you say that about Donald Trump? You basically run your fucking mouth too much, Diddy. You run your motherfucking mouth too much about Donald Trump. You should have let that man run for president and kept your mouth shut. He was running his fucking mouth too much about politics. If you are a celebrity and you have a lot of money, you got to keep your mouth closed about politics. Because later on, it could come around and bite your ass just like that. He said all that shit about Donald Trump, but yet he want Donald Trump to pardon him. Boy. I mean, if you listen to what he said about Donald Trump, bro, it's like, bro, why would you say something like that about Donald Trump? You should have kept your political views to yourself. A lot of people who are celebrities, they keep their fucking political views to themselves. They don't make it public. So what you think that you P. Diddy, that you're gonna fucking like just come out of nowhere and and exploit your political. Your political views on the world. I mean, you just gonna tell everybody how you feel politically. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna tell the whole entire world how you feel politically. That's not a smart move, dumbass. So now Donald Trump is like, you know what? After you done said something about me like that, I'm having a hard time to pardon you. And I think at the end of the day, Diddy is gonna get pardoned by Donald Trump, but I think Donald Trump is gonna make Diddy sweat a little bit, you know, until he get convicted of something. And I think Donald Trump, he's gonna be the bigger guy, and he's gonna pardon Diddy. But Diddy, what did you say in the interview? Go listen to what he said, bro. Go listen to what he was saying about Donald Trump. Like, you want him to pardon you, but you said some of the most nastiest things in the interview. Why would you say that, Diddy? Especially if somebody's running for president, you might not want to say nothing bad about him because he actually might become president and he might end up saving your life. He might end up pardoning you. You feel what I'm saying? It just like his mouth got him in trouble with the Cassie thing. It's just like his ego got him in trouble. All he had to do was pay Cassie the money to keep her mouth shut. He wouldn't be in this situation right now. I guess Cassie wanted $30 million, and he was like, "No, I ain't paying you shit." Guess what? Cassie came out and exposed your ass, and now you in jail fighting for your life. That's what happens when you have too much money. You get the biggest ego in the world, and you think that nobody can take you down, and you think you got immunity. And that's not true. You feel what I'm saying? That's not true. You know, a hard head will make a soft ass. You feel what I'm saying? Um, okay. Um, they got another thing that's called uh, loose lips sink ships. So when your lips is loose, it'll sink the ship. When you tell too much information about yourself and you say too much, you know, it allows people to sink your ship. It's like me when I was out there talking that shit and lying about how much I made or how much I won in the lottery. It allowed people to fucking sink my ship. That's what happened to me when I ran my mouth too much. Motherfuckers thought I had more than I had. So they gonna search my bag, find a gun on me, and then call the cops on me and have me put in jail for 2 weeks. Loose lips sink ships when you talk too goddamn much. I learned that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if anything that's political or anything involves in money, or you gotta keep your fucking mouth shut. Your loose lips will sink ships. Even Tupac said it. Loose lips sink ships. It's a trip. Tupac ran his mouth too, man. It's like, oh, you run your fucking mouth too much. Yeah, you was with Death Row and Suge Knight. but you was running your mouth way too much, man. So the real killers rolled up, and then what you gonna do? Yeah, you can make a song called "Hit 'Em Up," but you got people out here that's really down with that get down, that's really down with the killing stuff. Orlando Anderson was a killer. You jumped a real killer in that hotel lobby in Las Vegas that night, man. The guy Orlando Anderson, he shouldn't have been walking away from that incident alive. Matter of fact, you should have killed Orlando Anderson that night. He shouldn't have been able to walk away. You feel what I'm saying? When you are dealing with your enemy, they have to be eliminated right there on the spot. You can't let them walk away. Either he should have been in the hospital, fight for his life, or he should have been dead. You feel what I'm saying? But you and Suge Knight, the fake gangsters, yeah, I'ma call Tupac and Suge Knight basically the fake gangsters because they wasn't real gangsters. I don't think Suge Knight was a real gangster. He didn't come up as a real gangster. I think he really intimidated people based on his height and appearance, because he wasn't part of the blood gang when he was coming up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Tupac. No, Tupac was not a real gangster. You feel what I'm saying? He never really got caught for some gangster shit. You feel what I'm saying? And the people that he jumped was the people who they was dealing with was real gangsters, real Crips that actually go around and kill people. So Tupac really didn't know what he was doing, man. Yeah, he could make songs about killing people, but do you really do that for real? You know, are you that real kiss? Are you that real killer? Are you that real gangster? You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, man, you know, you can't be that real guy out here pretending to be, pretending to be that gangster. You can't be out here thinking that you the real one when you're not. Tupac was trying to be something that he wasn't. He wasn't from the West Side, even though he did represent the West Side very well in his songs. But he wasn't from California. I'm born and raised in California. Tupac is from Baltimore. That's an East Coast state, bro. From the East Coast. He throwing up the W like he's from the city where I'm from, which is Oakland, which is the West Side. I was born and raised in Oakland. You feel what I'm saying? Nowhere in the world Tupac is from my side. He's from the East Coast. Tupac is from the East Coast. And he ran his fucking goddamn mouth too much. That's what got him killed, man. That Hit 'Em Up track, it got him killed. Like, dude, if I would have been making a song called Hit 'Em Up, I would have had a vest and a gun every single day of my life. I would have been in Las Vegas with a vest and a gun. You know what I'm saying? Because you dealing with hitters, motherfuckers who are not afraid to kill you. When I was in jail, man, bro, I was in jail with some real hitters, some real killers, with tattoos everywhere. Tattoos on the face, tattoos on the skull, tattoos on the chest, tattoos on the legs, tattoos on the arms. That's who I was in jail with, bro. Those were some real hitters, some real killers. You feel what I'm saying? With the teardrop around the eyes and stuff. I was in there with them motherfuckers, bro. They ain't tripping off your life, G. They're ready to take your ass out before they call. They count 1, 2, 3. like that was from Master P. They ain't tripping off your life, G. They're ready to take your ass out before they count 1, 2, 3. What about your gold chain? What about your gold ring? Niggas down south and make you put you in that body slang. What about that body bag? You ain't that quick, that's why you on your ass. And niggas be fronting, perpetrating, counting, talking shit. You come to the project, you might get your rig split. That's Master P. That was my shit. That was from the True CD, man. You know what I'm saying? What's that? What was it? You come to the project, you might get to that Body song. That's what it was. That was that shit. With the whistling in the background. That was my shit, boy. That Master P song. What about a body bag? What about the body bag? You ain't that quick, that's why you on your ass. And niggas be fronting, perpetrating, talking shit. You come to the project, you might get your wig split. That was my shit. You feel me? Yeah. Okay, let's get up out of here, man. I'm out here drinking this water and shit too much. I mean, think about it, bro. You could tell like Suge Knight and Tupac and the Death Row Records crew, including like Snoop Dogg, there wasn't no real killers, man. They was dealing with some real killers, man. Hold on 1 second. Alright, let's get up out of here, man. Okay, we were supposed to be talking about focusing on not being old and alone. That's what the title was on this video. My main focus, is to get the bag, because I know that Kelcat Looks is leaving, and I'm leaving this earth, and I know that I'm not gonna be here forever. And the last thing I want to do is become old and alone. So my thing is, I'm focusing on, you feel me? Like right now, I'm not focusing on right now. You feel me? I'm tired, man. I'm not focusing on right now. I feel like that people who focus on right now, they're just gonna be broke for the rest of their life. And I'm like, I've seen it happen to a lot of guys, including my father. but they didn't get their money right, so they end up getting old and dying alone. And I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I say get as much money as you can. Focus on the bag so you won't end up like that. And plus, when you get the bag, you'll live longer. You'll have children, and you have people coming around you, seeing you when you die. I mean, when you get older. My bad. Not when you die, but when you get old, man. I told myself that probably don't want to have children, but I'm like, who's gonna see me? Who's gonna check up on me when I get old, man? You know, yeah, you can get rich, but who's gonna come around you when you get old? Remember, I told you, my mother got old, man, and when I came around, she couldn't she couldn't, I mean,
wait to cross West Calaveras Boulevard at
she couldn't stand the fact of me leaving the house because she was so lonely. My mother would never had lived as long as she have lived if it wasn't for us, man. When she was old and by herself, who came around? It was me. You know, it was me that was taking care of her when she was old, man. Whew. I got the chills because I got to get some water. Oh, and we need to get some hydration going on right now. We need to get some hydration right now. You feel me? Whew. We need to get some hydration. We need like 1.5 gallons of water. But I remember how my mother was before she died. She was always like she couldn't wait for me to come around. She always wanted me to watch Alien Part 2 with her. Aliens Part 2 with Sigourney Weaver. Watch TV with her. And I was there before she died, and I fucking was cooking meals and washing clothes. You feel me? You know. I remember before she died, me and her made a good bond. I mean, she did kick me out. You know, that was her fatal mistake, was kicking me out of the house because I was the only one that was keeping her alive, basically. I don't know why she kicked me out. I mean, I kind of know why. We wasn't getting along, but just because we're not getting along, it don't mean you're supposed to kick a motherfucker out. You know, and I cooked all the meals, man. I cooked breakfast, I cooked lunch, dinner. I was there cooking and slaving over a hot ass stove. You feel me? And I saw the desperation in her eyes, man. When I first arrived at the house, man, she was in bad shape. She was very skinny. And she was very skinny. Kind of get emotional when I think about it. She was very skinny, very not really into what I was talking about. She had bad mannerisms when I first showed up at the house. And when I was there, man, she stopped using drugs. She started gaining weight. And I was there cooking meals. Bro, I was making spaghetti from scratch. I was cooking rice and steak and vegetables from scratch. You know, she taught me how to make spaghetti from scratch. She was telling me what to put into that shit. you know, with the bell peppers and the onions. She was telling me, and the garlic, you chop this up, you know what I'm saying? Chop the bell peppers up and the onions and the garlic, and you got tomato sauce, and you got, you got hamburger meat, you know what I'm saying? And you got the spaghetti strings, you know what I'm saying? She taught me all of that, man. And I used to do that, like, I used to fix spaghetti at least once a week or some shit like that. But also I used to go to the market and pick up like steak and chicken. I used to fry chicken. You know, she taught me how to fry chicken and shit, man. I didn't know that until she taught me how to. She'd go get the flour, you know, and stuff like that, and you throw it on the chicken and stuff like that, and you season it real good with the salt and pepper. You know what I'm saying? And I was there, man. In the last moments of her life, I was there, man. But we didn't get along. But if I knew that she was gonna die without me, I would have tried to like work it out. I was like, Mom, you're gonna die without me. I would have came back, and I probably would have forced myself back into the house. You know, like, look, Mom, you're gonna die without me, man. I gotta be here. You know, I didn't know she was gonna die on her own. She was left there on her own. I mean, she lived by herself, but that goes to show when you by yourself, you're more likely to die prematurely. If she would have had a husband living with her, the fuck is wrong with this goddamn shit, bro? Fucking up my goddamn live stream. Keep buffering. Okay, back to what I was saying. If it wasn't for like me, my mother wouldn't have lived that long, man. She would have died earlier than that. You feel what I'm saying? She died from a drug overdose. Because when I was there, all of her drug friends, they were scared to come around. You know, because I got that presence, you know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers were scared of me. They didn't want to come around. You know, all of her drug partners who was using drugs with her and shit like that. You know, her smoking buddies who wouldn't come around when I was there. And I used to wake up in the middle of the night. My mother used to be sniffing the fumes from the what they call it, the oven and shit. You know, when she didn't have enough money for drugs, she'd go sniff the fumes to get high on off the oven. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Let's go up in here and get something real quick. Last moment. It looks like he's in game control. Definitely gotta get some water in this bitch. These are selling out like hotcakes because it's allergy season, man. I bet this is selling a lot, right? Right now. This is allergy, man. Allergy season right now. I got allergies big time. Right now, my allergies are killing me. I got sneezing and stuff all the time. Sound really good. What's up, man? How you doing? Good. I didn't recognize that was you right there, man. I was like, what the hell? That's him. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's allergy season right now, man. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Have a good night. Yeah, my allergies are killing me. I gotta take some more Benadryl tonight. So that's why I look at the desperation of my mother and my father, and I say I don't want to end up like that. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to be by myself. So I decided to at least have two children. And I know I'm old right now. Well, I ain't that old, but I'm not too old for children. And I told myself in a couple of videos that I said that I won't have any children, but I changed my mind again because I saw the loneliness in my mother's eyes and my father's eyes because they had us and if it wasn't for me, man, my mother would never had lived to be at least 69. She would have died earlier than that. My father died before he died in his late 60s too, man. By himself. He was by himself, bro. He was a loner. My thing is take care of your children when they're young, man. That's your investment for when you get old. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you love your children and provide for them until at least they turn 21 years old. Now, fuck that 18 shit. Kids need to be taken care of until they 21 years old. And then you can say, hey, son, you need to get a job or something. You know what I'm saying? But no, 18, no, that's too young to be kicking them out the house. I say kids need to be taken care of at least till they're 18 years old. I mean, until they're 21 years old. Even if they haven't found a job and they need a place to live, you're supposed to let them stay at your house rent-free. Don't be charging them for rent or getting them, you know what I'm saying? Don't be, come on, you need to pay some rent around here, and don't do that to your kids, man. You will become old and alone. What's up with it, man? You will become old and alone if you treat your kids badly. My mother and my father, you feel me? They treated us badly. You feel what I'm saying? They treated us very badly. That's the reason why we didn't want to come around our father in his last days before he died. We didn't want to come around because he treated us so badly. He never sent any Christmas cards. You feel me? He never thought about our birthdays. And I understand my father was pro-black. He didn't care about Christmas. But we did. I cared about Christmas. I wanted a Christmas card. I'm not pro-black. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not pro-black. You know what I'm saying? I believe in Christmas. I believe in getting Christmas presents to people. And I believe in Thanksgiving. I believe in having turkey and dressing and stuff. That's what I believe in. But he could at least sent some Christmas cards to us. Maybe he would never have died alone if he would have been thinking about his children, his investment. Because kids are an investment. And it caught up to him. And he ended up dying alone by himself in a hospital with nobody around him. You know what I'm saying? And nobody caring for him either. You feel what I'm saying? So no, you treat your kids good. Later, in the later years, when you're old and gray, they're gonna take care of you. They're gonna come around you. They're gonna watch your favorite shows with you and shit like that. They're gonna watch your favorite shows, whatever your favorite shows were when you were young. They're gonna come around. Kids are an investment. You have to look at them as such. They're not a nuisance. No, they're not. They're not a nuisance. They're not, something that you just toss to the side when you're done. No, kids are an investment for when you get old and alone. My mother didn't look at us like that. My mother, even though I was there for the final, sorry, I'm fucking burping and shit. Even though I was there for the final moments of her life, I really didn't have to be. Because my mother tried to throw me in jail when I was like young and shit, man. In 2001, 2002, I mean. You know, that arrest is still on my record. Them trying to throw me in jail to get rid of me so they don't have to like take care of me no more. My evil sisters came out of nowhere and lied on me. And I hit my mother and shit. And I was thrown in jail. And I had to go to court for like 6 months behind that shit. And they never showed up, by the way, because they knew they lied on me. You know what I'm saying? And when you do very bad things to your kids, they're not going to want to come around when you're old. Why would you call the cops on your kids? You hear what I'm saying? That it comes back to bite you in the ass when you call the cops on your kids and have them try to put them in jail. My mother bruh, she called the cops on me multiple times before I was even 18 years old. I remember when I sit back and I remember how poorly my mother treated me, bro. She tried to call the cops on me before I was 18. I was like 15 and she was trying to call the cops on me, bro, and get me put out the house. I'm like, how you gonna get me put out of bitch? I'm like, how the fuck you gonna get me put out of the house when you're still receiving food stamps and government assistance for me? You know what I'm saying? And then when the government assistance and the food stamps ran out when I turned 18, she really wanted to kick me out then. Okay? But then she wondered why she died by herself. Because you treated your kids like trash. You don't treat your kid like trash. They are your investment when you get old. She was lucky that I came around and I had a forgiving heart when she was struggling with drugs so much. Bro, when I came in the house, bro, and we sat down, we was having dinner together, she was shaking her leg while she was eating them. She had this dope fiend like stomp. Like matter of fact, she wasn't shaking her leg, she was stomping her leg while she was eating, bro. And I sat back and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, Mom? Like, why are you stomping your leg like that while we're eating? She was in bad shape when I showed up, bro. Soon enough, as we kept sitting down and we kept eating together, you know, slowly but surely, she stopped doing that. You feel what I'm saying? Because she saw that I wasn't doing that. So she stopped doing it. Eventually, she probably was hanging out with some of her dope fiend friends that was doing that at the table, stomping their fucking goddamn foot like a goddamn dope fiend. You know what I'm saying? For real, when I first showed up at the house, you feel me? This is back when me and Shelly had broke up and I had no place to live, no place to stay. And I said, Mom, I'm coming over there. I'm going to live over there real quick. Okay, son, come over here. We got space for you. And I remember, man, when I first showed up, she was in bad shape. She was really skinny. She was on drugs hard, man. The place was infested with roaches, man. I mean, I must have had learned how to get rid of roaches from your house. I did. You know, when there's a will, there's a way. There was roaches everywhere. You know what I did was I took Comet and I put it. I know that roaches are greedy, right? And she had roaches inside the house everywhere. And I took Comet and I poured it all over the floor in the kitchen. And I know the roaches, they're greedy, so they're gonna eat anything and everything. So the moment I did that, roaches ended up dead everywhere, man. I mean, damn, there was dead roaches everywhere, cause they was eating the Comet. You know what I'm saying? Not Lysol, but Comet. So I poured Comet all over the floor and on top of the counter and shit, all over the floor in the kitchen and the counter. Man, I must have almost got rid of every single roach that was in there. Cause they were dying. They were dropping like fucking flies in there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I know roaches, they very greedy. They'll eat anything. And if you throw Comet on the floor and then they'll be like, "Ooh, is that food? Is that us? Is that for us?" They'll eat that shit, man, and they'll die. Common is it for real. And after a while, I start seeing less roaches when I did that, right? I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and I started seeing less roaches in the house. I said, okay, but the neighbors had them, so we still was, we still was seeing them every now and then, but I would like pour Common all over that goddamn floor in the kitchen. My mother, she didn't know what that was about, but I said, Mom, trust me, leave it alone. We gonna get rid of these roaches in this motherfucking house. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know. So what I did was, man, I got the Comet, and I don't know how I figured that out. I think it was at our old house. I figured out that roaches was very greedy, and they'll eat anything that you throw out there. And I must have had figured that out at our old house, and then like I don't know, for some reason I pulled out the Comet, and then you feel me, like they was eating everything in sight, so I knew that they were going to eat the Comet. And then I didn't get rid of all the roaches, but I got rid of most of them. And all of a sudden, like, I would throw the Comet out there, and like a day later I come back and this roach is dead all over the fucking floor because they done ate the Comet, right? And then I fixed it to where it was like suitable. There wasn't roaches everywhere. There was a roach here and there. You know what I'm saying? It was like I killed most of those motherfuckers. I was smart, bro. I said, when I came in the house, bro, I was like, I'm gonna fix you motherfuckers. You want to get rid of roaches? Throw Comet all over the fucking kitchen floor, bro. And they'll eat that shit because they're greedy. They'll eat anything. That's how they survive. But that Comet will make them bleed inside out, bro. That's some dangerous shit. Comet is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I did that, man, and I remember coming home at night. My mother would be sitting in the living room watching Aliens Part 2, or she'd be watching Miss Doubtfire or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of her favorite movies. You know, how Stella got her groove back. She was watching that. You know what I'm saying? I go in the room, I got me some UV vodka. And I said, Mom, you want some, Mom? I would give her some UV vodka, some of that cheap ass vodka or some shit like that. And I go in the room, I'll be listening to some Chris Brown, Another Round, Another Round, oh baby. That song, that's back in 2012. It's back when, it was 2012, yeah. That song it came out before that though, man. But I was listening to Another Round inside the room and shit, you feel what I'm saying? And with Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I was living there, man. And then I started working as an armed security guard down the street. And I used to have to walk down the street with a hot ass vest on, man. Man, I started, what's up with it? My homeboy walking by down the street. And I started working, right, as an armed security guard down the street. You feel me? And then I started making money and shit like that, man. It wasn't a whole lot. I was making about $13 or $14 an hour being an armed security guard, though, bro. Come on. You making $13 an hour being armed? Bruh, I was like, man, that was the only job that I could get, really, man. So I took it and shit like that. And then lived there for about a couple of more, maybe like 6 more months. And then for some reason, I don't know why, we just didn't get along. We just didn't talk to each other no more. My mother is very hard to get along with. That's why she ended up dying alone by herself, because she was very hard to get along with. She was very violent. She wanted to always end stuff in a Suge Knight way. You know how Suge Knight always believed in violence and taking care of his problems. That's how my mom and my dad was. They believe in violence and taking care of something instead of just talking something out. You feel what I'm saying? They believed in violence. So that's the reason why nobody came around them, man. They died alone. They treated their children like shit. My dad treated his children like shit, but he didn't look out for them at all. That's why I say your children are your investment when you get old. You have to treat them with kindness, and you have to take care of their every needs while they're fucking dependent on you. A lot of guys, a lot of people, period, guys and girls, they end up old and alone because they treat their children like shit. They don't see their children as an investment for when they get old. They see their children as, what can I get out of them right now? If they're not useful for me right now, I'm going to discard them. You know what I'm saying? And my mother, she was lucky that I had a very forgiving heart for her throwing me in jail. Okay? And that arrest is still on my record in 2002. The last time I went to jail, they brought up the time that I went to jail. When I went in jail, there was like 2002, huh? That was the last time I've been in jail. I was like, oh yeah. I said, okay, yeah. Wasn't my fault, man. My mother was an evil woman, bro. What can I say? And she was. My mother was a very evil woman, bro. She was lucky that I was there for her final days of her life. She was there. I mean, she was lucky that I forgave her for trying to put me in jail for no apparent reason. Trying to put me in jail, bro. Her only son. Well, I wasn't her only son. She had other sons out there. You know what I'm saying? My half brothers and sisters that was out there. She treated them like trash, bro. So, like I said, some people, they give birth to their children, but they don't treat their children well. So they end up old and alone by themselves. But she was lucky. My mother was lucky that I had a forgiving heart to forget the time that she tried to throw me in jail. And for real, when she did that to me, bro, she didn't talk to me. I didn't talk to her for like 5 years. I disappeared from her for 5 years after she threw me in jail and tried to get me caught up in the system, bro. I didn't talk to her for 5 fucking years. I was traumatized. And you wonder why I dated outside my race, bro. I was traumatized because how my mother treated me throughout the years, bro. She was an evil person, but she was lucky that I was there cooking for her and cleaning and washing clothes for her for the last couple of years of her fucking life. When she kicked me out of the door, she kicked me out of the house, she ended up dying. She died. A year later, she died, bro. I'm like, that was her death for kicking me out of the house. She ended up dying of an overdose. If she would have kept me around, maybe tell me to leave for a little bit and then come back. Like, son, I really need you here. I know we were mad at each other, but I really need you here in the house right now. You know, when I first came back from LA, she told me that I couldn't move in. She was like, no, son, you can't be here. And I was like, no, I don't want to be there because I know how you are. You kicked me out last time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I decided to leave, man. She kicked me out. We didn't get along up under the same house. You feel what I'm saying? You feel me? So she died a year later. If she would have kept me around, if she would have treated me like a human being, she would have been living. Or maybe she would have lived another 10 years. She would have lived another 10 years. Because she treated me like shit throughout the years, bro. When she was no longer able to collect a welfare check for me, bro, that's when I didn't matter to her no more, bro. That's why I said some people, they want to have children, but they don't want to be parents. Yeah, they want to have children, but they don't want to take the responsibility of being parents. You know, checking up on you every single day, making sure you're getting good grades. They don't want to take that responsibility on, bro. They don't want to take the responsibility of taking you to baseball practice every single day, They don't want that responsibility. All they want, some of these bitches, some of these women, not all of them, but some of them just want a welfare check from you, bro. That's why they have you. You know, and then they kick you out when they no longer could get a paycheck from you. And that's why my mother died by herself, bro, old and alone. Now, I cried when my mother died, man, very much so. But I start looking at how my mother, how much of a bad person she really was. I like, my mother was a bad person. I mean, she had children before us, bro, and she treated them like shit. You know what I'm saying? She treated the children before us, because she married 2 men. She married a man before us, and she had children with that man, and then she married our father, and then she had children with him, which is us, right? Me and my 2 sisters, right? She treated us like shit. She's always talking about my sister's color, because I had a middle sister. I had a younger sister, and I had a sister that was up under me. She was the darkest one, and she used to always talk about her color, bro. My mother was light-skinned, by the way. She was very light-skinned. She wasn't dark. She wasn't my complexion at all. She was light-skinned. My mother was a light-skinned mother, man. You know, very light-skinned. She was one of them, what you call them, a red bone. And my father was dark. You know, matter of fact, my father was darker than me. Okay, so you mix those 2 together, you get something in between like me. You know what I'm saying? Which is chocolate color. I'm chocolate color. Because my mother was light-skinned and my father was dark. He was darker than me. Okay? She used to always talk about my sister, my middle sister, not my younger sister, because she was chocolate colored too, man. But she used to always talk about my middle sister, how dark she was. She used to always talk about how black she was, how dark skinned she was. And every time she got mad at my middle sister, she called her a dark bitch or something like that. And I'd be like, damn, why you gonna, now that I'm older, I started realizing, like, God damn, why? When I was younger, I used to hee and hide and laughing and shit. But when I get older, I started realizing, like, God damn, that was really rude of my mom to be talking about your own daughter, how dark she is. You shouldn't have married the father. The father was a dark-skinned man, okay? So why are you gonna talk about your daughter? That's what I'm saying. My mother, she was a very evil person, bro. And every time my half brothers and sisters came over, they got into a physical altercation, bro. They fighting in the living room, pulling hair, slapping each other and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, this is how you treat your children, though. You wonder why you died old and alone. I'm just saying. I didn't want my mother to die old and alone. That's why I was there for her in her final days. But you treated your children like shit. Every single children she had, she treated us like shit. And your children, before I end this video, I'm about to end this video right now, man, because I need to take my medicine and go to sleep. Take my allergy pills. 76% is investment for when you get old. So you got to treat them with kindness, take care of them, you know, and make sure they it's just make sure that they're there, you know. And my mother, she wasn't a smart mother, bro. She wasn't smart. She was very, very stupid. I could say that she was very, I hate to say this about my mother, but she had a very low IQ. And my father also had a very low IQ, but he was street smart. You know, that's the only thing about my father. He was street smart. That was the only thing that was smart about him. Is that he could con his way through things. He can make females think that he was bigger than what he was. He had females thinking that he was a leader of everything. You know, that's the only thing that he had going for him is his street smarts. But a lot of the times, my mother had a very low IQ. My father was he only was street smart. That was it. Uh, Now that I think back and I look at everything uh, from above, you know what I'm saying? Looking at everything from my outside point of view. You feel what I'm saying? See, looking on the outside in, you know. So always treat your children nicely and kindly, and take care of them because they are you know, you know, they are your investment for when you get old. You know, when you get old, you're gonna need your children. Trust me, you are. When you get old, you're gonna need your. You're gonna need them to come around and help you around the house, help you clean up, help you pick up stuff. You know, they're, you're gonna need them to watch television, because it's gonna be lonely. You're gonna be old. You're gonna be, 70, 75. You're gonna be wanting somebody to watch TV with you. You feel what I'm saying? And it's gonna get lonely when you old in that rocking chair by yourself. If you in a what they call it, an old folks home, you're gonna need somebody to come around and check up on you, because the old folks home, they tend to treat people badly when they know you ain't got no family. They're gonna treat you badly up in that old folks home, man, because they know you ain't got no kids to come around and check up on you. I gotta go. You guys have a good night. I gotta watch some of my videos here on YouTube, some of my leftover cope videos. You guys have a good night. Peace out. Take care. Bless. I am out.